Welcome to the show. Who's up next? Sunday, 10 a.m. Yeah. We check. Big fella in the chair. King talk, big glare. Gorilla Army in the air. We all there. We all there. West Coast clock on 10. Pacific time we tap in. Best stories, best jams, real ones, not pretend. Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. Turn it up, let the whole block know. Big fella got the mic, it's a go. Gorilla Army in the building, say whoa. Highlights hitting like a straight right blow. Interviews heavy, every question on goal. If you really wanna see who gon' blow, tune in, this the Who's Up Next show. Lights on, cameras tight. New star born live on sight. Big fella ass once talk right. We talk crime, we talk fight. Came from nothing, now they shine. Clip that moment, freezing time. Run it back, headline every Sunday. Same time. Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. Turn it up, let the whole block know. Big fella got the mic, it's a go. Gorilla Army in the building, say whoa.
Welcome to the Who's Up Next show. It's your boy, the big fella, the Gorilla General, on a beautiful Sunday. Man, it's like, I'm telling you right now, the studio is on 10 degrees past hell. And the AC been on and everything. My building here is wild, man. It's, CCP headquarters is if you've been here, you know what I'm talking about. Like the AC is funny here, man, or it's just too damn hot in Vegas for the AC to really take care of business. What up, E-Money? Hey, there's so much to talk about today. We missed last week's, there was whatever going on. We're back now. We got some other stuff. We got another new segment coming up, which is basically my athlete of the week. And that athlete could be from the pros down. Today it's a pro because I think that they're amazing in how they carry themselves. And I want you guys to understand that there's more to being an athlete than just what you do when you're in your sport. And then we're just going to keep adding them every week and doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted to chop it up a little bit. Oh, matter of fact, I took the NCAA news and today I wanted to hit it individually so it's not in our video format because there's some things that are going on that I definitely want to talk about. Let me make sure, you know what, let me take care of the one thing first. Eligibility clock. A couple weeks back, I was on here and I was telling you guys that prep academies are now in play as where JUCO might not be in play. And I forgot that so I'm giving you guys have to remember, I have a rep at the NCAAs, right? So I get information way in advance sometimes. So I was giving that out. And I know some people were probably confused because they were like, well, damn, maybe like if you turn 19 or graduation, how does that work? Because it was triggered at that. But I knew what was coming down the pipeline. I just let it out like 4 days early. But the eligibility clock on the 5-and-5 is definitely changed. So what you're seeing now, they just went out on like the 8th and informed colleges that graduation will not trigger your clock. The age of 19 triggers your clock, as well as when you register as a full-time student in college. Now, I've had parents call me, I've had coaches call me and ask, does that apply to JUCO? Yes. The whole purpose of this change with the NCAA was to get around lawsuits. If you had one universal package that covered everything, then you didn't have to worry about that one rule, right? A lot of waivers were subjective. Sometimes you got them, sometimes you didn't. And so anytime you do that, it allows an open opportunity for lawsuits. So what they did with this new rule is put a halt to all of that. But like I said, 2 weeks ago, I told you guys, excuse me, I told you that prep academies were going to come into play. But I knew I was ahead of time. I should have waited a week to say something. Now you understand if graduation isn't the trigger, but the age of 19 is the trigger, then technically, if you graduate at 17, you can go play at a prep academy in your sport for 2 years and then use prep academy as a springboard to get you into college. If you're not already going to the level or to the type of school you want to go to, and your clock never starts, so you actually end up with 7 years post graduation than you would have had if you went directly into college. So I'm gonna try to be better about that. It's not the first time this has happened, where I put some. Don't get mad at me, my guy. Don't get mad at me. Y'all never told me not to say nothing, so I just put. If I get the information from you guys, I'll put the information out. It's just that simple. Um, and so that rule change was coming, and that's why I said though that prep academies would be a go. I knew that they were waiving the graduation from as a trigger point. So there you go on that part. Let's push over to man. Hey, no, I'm gonna come back to that one. That's just too deep for it right now. I do want to say that the new 5-and-5 rule will definitely change where high school athletes start. The majority, it was already a thing that the majority wasn't starting at the D1 level anyway. But you can pretty much damn well guarantee that, let's say 90% will start anywhere from D2 all the way down, all the way to prep academy is how this thing's going to play out. With the 5-and-5 is great because you get an extra year to play. You remember you used to have 4 years, but you could get a waiver for things like if you had an injury, which means a year came up short or you redshirted, whatever the situation, right? So you never got a full 5 years to play. Even if you were in football at the D1 level, you were allowed to get 6 games in, then you had to sit the rest of the season. So technically you played, but you didn't get whatever. So I just want to make sure that you understand the 5-and-5 is a good thing, but it will hurt recruiting at the high school level because there's still older kids, older young, not you guys aren't kids, older people in college doing what they have to do. And it's just that simple, especially in like softball, baseball, wrestling, things like that, that don't have an immediate pro side. They will be there the whole time. And so that's definitely going to take up roster spots. It's going to be a lot harder for people to get in at the higher levels, and you just got to do what you got to do. That prep academy loophole is interesting. Listen. So here's where I'm at. I'm gonna just say it. You can feel how you want to feel about it. That leads me into this section. Should you reclass your son or daughter? If your kid is talented playing varsity, let's say all 4 years of high school, and they're going to graduate at 17, and you can afford to do the prep academy route, I would do that. If your kid is nice, but maybe the money isn't going to be there at the end, then I would reclass early, junior high, elementary, whatever, and then get them to where they're trying to go, so they could be bigger, faster, stronger later on. I'm not against the reclass. Look, you got to do what you got to do. You understand? We can, it's like getting mad that billionaires don't pay taxes. It's not a crime. If the loophole is there, listen, if you could use the loophole, you would. I would. You know what I'm saying? I do. So it's like you got to remember those things. And so if that's the case, then you got to do what you have to do. So if reclassing is the option, then I would reclass if that's what's going to work. This is a business. You got to make business decisions. The one thing that you can't do is be on pride. Hold on. Milk the loophole. Facts. Pride is one of those things which will bring me back to that one. Pride is one of those things that gets in the way of people's opinions and what they think is the better choice for them to make. And then they do something stupid, right? And that's why I put this one up with this conversation. It says if death can strip away pride in just a few seconds, why do we let it control our entire life, right? So why is it that we'll put our pride to the side when it comes to life or death, but we'll let pride make dumbass choices for us our entire rest of our life? Sometimes you got to put pride to the side. Pride, if it's necessary to get where you're trying to go and to do the things that you're trying to do, then you just got to do the damn thing. Right? So don't be like, oh, I don't want people saying that my kid is dumb because they stayed back a year. You know it ain't fact, then why do you give a damn about what the other person said or what they think? It's about the plan for your kid and what's going to benefit them. And you're going to always have those parents that are out there like, well, my kid shouldn't be having to play against the 19-year-old. Your kid didn't have to play against the 19-year-old. Your kid could have been held back too. It's that simple. And you weren't complaining. So, and parents, let me burst the bubble all the way out, right? Today, I'm feeling some kind of way. I got a lot going on. I had a call right before this show started. I'm going to get into that too. But this is how I'm feeling, right? If you don't want your 17-year-old playing against 19-year-olds, then you shouldn't want your kid on varsity as a freshman when you're so proud that your kid is a varsity athlete as a freshman. So then at the least amount of space, the kids ahead of him or her are 4 years older. But you're crying about when your kid is 17, about to be an adult, playing against 19-year-olds that went to school with them the entire time. They've been playing against them for the last 2-3 years, and now we're whining. And if you have a problem with your 17-year-old playing a 19-year-old, then why do you want your kid to go to college? Because your 17-year-old is your 17-year-old is for sure about to play grown-ass adults. They're about to play 21s, 22s. So don't cry about what you think is unfair because you made the choices you made. Make business decisions. If your kid's not going to be capable to handle everything at 17, hold them back. Reclass them. Business decisions, not perception. Put your pride to the side and make the best choice. There you go. Bye, y'all. Oh, again, so let me tell you about what happened before the show started, right? So I had a kid that I trained years ago. His mother and father, it's weird when I train kids, they tend to parents that get upset because they're like, damn, y'all do anything coach says, but you don't do anything that I say or blah, blah. And some parents' pride gets in the way and they start trying to sabotage it. This mom was one of those. This kid, sometimes when the mom wouldn't give a ride to the gym or to wherever we were training, I seen this kid walk 4 miles just to get to the gym so he could train with me. And I always respected it. I always felt it. I loved it, right? I'm picky about the kids I train because I'm with you for life. It's that simple. Whatever, till I'm not breathing, I got you. If I could open a door, get you into a job, get you into school, whatever the situation, I got your back. She never understood that. But I was talking to the kid today. He's in college, doing what he's doing, going the direction he's going. He doesn't play sports anymore. He started a business. He is now looking at possibly being a lawyer in the medical field, plus his own company. And the best compliment happened. He said his mom was like, hey, do you still talk to JR? And he was like, I just talked to him the other day. I'm about to call him today. I call him before I call y'all if I got a question. And she told him, when you used to walk 4 or 5 miles to get to him so you could go train and whatever, I never understood it. But I get it now. There's no better compliment than that. When I give you guys advice on this show, or I say, hey, this is what I know, or whatever, I don't know when that information is going to hit you. I have another family where the mother reached out and said, she's heard my words when I'm training her children. And those words have come back to help her at times when there was nothing else. And those words came back when she needed them. Again, there's no better compliment. I do what I do here on the Who's Up Next show. For that, this is my pulpit, right? This is my pulpit. I come here on Sunday and I preach. I give the information I could give. I answer the questions I can answer, and I try to open the doors that I can open for the people that deserve it, right? And I don't discriminate. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what your skin color is, your religion, your sexuality. I don't give a damn about none of that. If you come with a question, the big fella gonna make sure you get an answer. Hold on. Even older with basketball, I have freshman students that were 18 and they had teammates that were 25, 26. Listen, I'm telling you, preach to the choir. I'm telling you, this thing is, if your kid's gonna be in sports, stop being sensitive. If your kid is gonna be in sports, they're gonna go through trials and tribulations, period. Sometimes your kid is going to be the absolute best kid on the team, and they're not going to play for whatever nonsense reason. You can't cry about it. You got to make a business decision. Oh, this isn't going to change. Well, then we're going to change and go somewhere else. It's not easy, but it's something that you have to do. With complete college prospects, and I'm going to stay talking about it on the show, right? Because people are hard-headed. People will see something that's to their benefit and still go do the dumb thing. Here's how it's been over the last 5 years, right? We built so that your kid can get everything they need to go where they need to go. And we made the price in the beginning, the price was like $25, right? We made the price ridiculous. And yet, for the better product, it's like when they say, guys and girls like going after the bad girl and the bad guy instead of the good girl and the good guy. A lot of you would still run to NCSA and then be complaining later that your parents paid however much money and you got nothing. But we didn't let that stop us. We continued to evolve because we knew you needed us, right? We built with you in mind. We built everything, the show, the magazine, our partnerships. Everything was built with you in mind. Never us. You never hear the people at Complete College Prospects or our affiliates, you never hear anybody bragging about themselves. We built everything for you. Our writers are out there. They're never trying to be front and center on camera. They always want to make sure you are. I've heard from some of my counterparts that have podcasts and other things that, sometimes I give too much time to the guest on the show, but if I got to give the guest the whole damn show, I'm going to give the whole damn show because that's the whole purpose. That's the purpose. Just like I am for the kids and the athletes, let's not just say kids, because from pros down, the people I train, I'm with you for life. I'm with you till the day I take my last breath. I got you. Whether you stay an athlete, whether you go into something else, whether you just want to be a parent, I don't care. I got you, right? I'm with you. That's how Complete College Prospect was built. We're with you. When you become part of the family, we're with you. And that's what it really is. That's why, like anything else, when your kids are being unruly, you don't stop doing things that are going to help them when they finally come around. We just take it as some kids are unruly, some families don't listen, hard head, soft ass situation. We just got to wait for everything to catch up. They'll be on over here this way. And that's what tends to happen. And then when they come here, we don't say, hey, you should have been here. We say, hey, we got to move from today on. We got to help you get where you're trying to go. Sometimes that might mean giving you the information that says, you know what, the numbers don't match up. Because if the numbers and the God gifts don't match up, then we're fighting up a uphill battle, and it might not be worth your time to go that direction. Maybe we need to do something different. And that's why we evolved again to the what's coming in August, the new iteration of Complete College Prospect Institute. We as a corporation we are not a recruiting company. We deal with sports, but we deal with the village. If we're not making your parents better, your schools better, your coaches better, and you better, then realistically, we just helping you to go into another problem later on, and another one, and another one, and another one. But it never gets fixed, and that's why we did what we did. So why we are who we are, and that's why the stories I told you about the phone call and with the things with pride and NCAA, you've got to look at the reality. Some of you believe that your kid is better at the sport than they are today. That doesn't mean tomorrow, but today. Maybe they need a little bit more work. Maybe if they had an extra year, it would be an amazing transformation. But your pride, because you don't want people to look at you and be like, well, your kid, or say something about your kid, stops you from making that decision that's actually better for them and their business. Because that's what sports are today. It's a business. So there you go. That's the big fella. Make some better choices. Do what you got to do. All right, man. Let's keep it pushing. Hey, I wanted to get in this thing. So I didn't put this out. 24/7 Sports put this out, and I want everybody to understand, because I was in arguments with parents and neighborhood people and everything else. So they put out a thing for football. I'm gonna get basketball and baseball, softball, all that stuff too. But they put out a thing for football, that was talking about the schools that were producing the most college football players, right? And all I heard was, well, that's not my town. My town better than that. I know more athletes than that just in my town. One, that's pride, which is stupid, because that's your opinion that those kids are at that level. That doesn't mean that they really were. Remember, I told you, the best kids, the best athletes are not always the athletes that you see. They're the best athletes in general, but not the best athletes in the system. So when you see 24/7 put out a list like this, you shouldn't get offended. What you should go do is figure out, with all these great athletes that you think you have in your community or your neighborhood, what's missing? Why are they not getting the same recognition as these other schools? Because I agree that there's a bunch of schools that I know personally that are not on this list that put hella kids in school. But you also have to look at the other side. 24/7 Sports is not open to everybody. It may have been back in 2005 when it was first started by the dude that created On Three and Rivals. It might have been back then, but today it's a who knows who situation. The philosophy over there is, if you get a scholarship at a power five or something, a bigger school, whatever, for your sport, then they automatically rate you. So now you're in their system. So now they can say, well, here are the kids we know. So when you see this list, the list is made off of their numbers, the kids they know, not the kids that you, because if your kids ain't connected, it's what happens. So this is the list they put out. Obviously, IMG, they put it number one when it came to, college football recruits, but that's nonsense. IMG just pays them the most money. I'm saying it because we can. Look, I told you guys, 4 years ago, we were good with staying quiet and letting dudes bully and everything else and blah, 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 right? Let's say 3 years ago, we were starting to find our footing and find our voice. 2 years ago, we was like, all right, I think it's time to make the shift, but we just gonna stay. But a year ago, it was like, nah, we are who we are, so we're gonna say what we have to say, because we stand on that business. We haven't received a cease and desist yet. We haven't received make a retraction yet. IMG with 19 is not the most college football recruits. It's not. So it's what works in their list, right? You know what I'm saying? St. Francis out in Maryland, and Carrier in Georgia, that Cherry Creek in Colorado. I'm not surprised to see it. They've been amazing for years. But if it's 10, that's 10 of the top tier schools. 10 kids going to top tier schools. It's not the whole student body. And this is why I want you guys to stop following and doing these dumbass things with these people. They only care about the ones that are up here going wherever. And let's be real, a lot of those wash out. A lot of those wash out. But that's who they're talking about. They're talking about the kids that were at the right camps, connected to the right people that are in their system. They're not talking about you. Hell, Buena High School in Arizona put damn near like 20 kids in college football in college, playing football this coming up year from their last class. That beats 19, but they don't care because those kids are at a variety of school levels, right? A variety of divisions, and they don't care. Look, let's be real. They don't give a damn about the lower levels. You still on the grind. You still on the hunt. They only want to jump on your bandwagon once the bandwagon is already moving. They ain't putting in the work. All right, man. Let's go. I got Coach K in the waiting room, so we're gonna get her on. I know she want to talk about some young ladies when it comes to softball and some stuff like that. Some possibilities where she gonna be at, things she gonna be doing. Let's get into this thing on success, and then I want to go to the athlete of the week, and then we'll come back, jump in with Coach K for a little bit before we get to Coast with Mark Gibson and Watchtower with Kevin Moses and just a whole bunch of other stuff. We got some great athletes on tap for today, so I'm excited about it. But let's jump into this video on success.
Nobody really wants to see you be successful, especially if they're not attached to your success. Most people that you are around, it could even be your own family. Most people you are around, why would they want to see you successful if they're not going to be a part of it, and then they feel like you are just stunning on them?
Look, I put this video up. Don't get mad at me, families. Like it's true. It might not be true in your house, but it's true. You know what I'm saying? Most people they're happy to see you trying to get to success, but you'll find that once you get there, there's a lot of people that aren't happy for you. And so you need to stop talking about what you're going to do or how you're going to do it, because everybody that's smiling in your face ain't praying for your success. And everybody that you on the same squad with or that you agree to play for, they're not there for your full success either. And that brings me into this story about this ain't even, I would say it's foul, but it's not, because it happens all the time in college. I tell kids every single day, as you move up the food chain, if you got to go to a funeral, or your husband is hurt, or your wife is hurt, or your mom is dying, or your wife is having a baby. The Super Bowl this past year, one of the players' wives is in the stands in a booth with her doctor because the baby was due and she could not. She was like, I'm gonna just do this thing here and try to hold out till we could get over to the hospital because it is what it is. She knew her husband had choices. The team will never tell you can't go. But you better damn well believe that the punishment is coming for going. One, if they play that other person, they like that person, got a little bit they could teach them, you ain't getting back in on the field or pitch or whatever it is you do, right? Court, whatever it is, they're gonna move on from that. But on the other side, they start believing that you're not there for the team. And then in some situations, the foulness just never stops. And then they do something like this.
Picture losing your own mother and then just weeks later losing your college football scholarship and eligibility to play. Well, that's unfortunately what happened to Western Kentucky defensive lineman Victory Vaca. So according to CBS Sports, Vaca had transferred from Texas Southern and was preparing for what he expected to be his final college football season, but on April 2nd, his mother unexpectedly passed away and he immediately flew home to California to be with his family. According to Vaca, he stayed in contact with the program while he was home. In fact, 9 days before his mother's funeral on May 9th, he says an assistant strength coach sent him a summer workout plan and told him that the expectation was that he'd return to campus in June. So Vaca said he believed he had the rest of May to grieve and be with his family and lay his mother to rest. But then, on May 26th, his position coach suddenly reached out and asked where he was at. Just one day later, on May 27th, Vaca and his agent were informed that Western Kentucky was moving on from him and canceling his scholarship. The situation became even more complicated after he was classified as a failure to report, a designation that carries massive consequences. Instead of simply losing his spot on the roster, NCAA rules prevented him from using a transfer exception that normally allows athletes whose aid is canceled to enter the transfer portal. His appeal for relief was also denied, leaving him 1 semester away from graduating with no clear path to play his final year of college football, despite multiple programs reportedly interested in signing him. This is just a heartbreaking situation no matter which way you look at it, but do you think Victory Vaca deserves the NCAA to give him an exemption? What do you guys think? Let me know.
Hey, it's what it is. I want to say the coaches are assholes, but I really can't because this is how they run the business. They don't want him because he went to it to deal with his mother's passing, but they don't want anybody else to have him either. There's some schools at the NAIA level that accumulate a bunch of athletes so that they don't have to play against. Hell, at every level. There are some schools that'll give your ass a scholarship because they don't want to play. They don't want to play against you, but they're not planning to play you. It's a game. This thing is a game, and you got to be prepared for it, or you're going to get, I promise you, it's going to swallow you up. And you're going to be bitter at the end of it. But if you understand the game, if you understand the business of sports, then you're going to be okay. This kid deserves to play his final year. He deserves to have school paid for. He's a year away from graduation. He deserves all of that. I want you to understand it was the loophole. If they can say you don't show, it doesn't allow you to go in the portal, which messes up so many things. Now, if you're in JUCO or NAIA and you're coming up to the NCAA, nothing that happens down there matters, right? I don't care. You're coming up D1, D2, D3. You don't have to go in the portal. You don't have to do nothing. You could no show and just move. Whole different system. But in the NCAA, remember, you always have to report. And if you think your team is being shady, compliance. If you don't understand, there's a compliance officer on your campus. If you think it's about to go bad, you go to compliance and say that you want to withdraw from your sport. If you go to compliance and do that, you'll get a waiver that allows you to make contact with other schools and do whatever you want, but it protects you from something like this happening. I know a lot of you don't know the rules and ins and outs. And again, I would love to do, because when we open back up on August 1st, become a member of Complete College Prospect. I don't know what else to tell you. If he would have had those answers. How do you have an agent that doesn't tell you those answers? Let's do that. You heard them say they informed him and his agent. He has an agent. His agent is supposed to know all of the ins and outs and have been there to help him. But you know what? His agent is only there for the money. I don't know what else to tell you guys. You guys have got to start understanding the rules. You've got to go study how this thing works. What are coaches? What rights, when you're on scholarship, what rights does the school have? What rights do you have? I told you before, if you could get a bunch of, I would rather have a full ride that was mixed between athletics and grade-based, academic-based scholarships than I would full athletic. Academic scholarships last 4 years. Sports scholarships last about 10 months. It's the school year. And then it has to be renegotiated if they're going to, or if it's going to stay the same. That those exit interviews you hear about, those exit interviews are business meetings. Sometimes you're walking in for the coach to say, hey, we're going to go in another direction. You need to find a new home. Sometimes it's them saying, hey, we love what you did this season in whatever your prospective sport is, and that we're going to up your scholarship money or time, whatever it is. So stop thinking that these exit interviews are just you and your coach laughing and giggling about that y'all like each other. It's a business meeting. It's an absolute business meeting. And the faster you guys understand that, the better off you're going to be. Parents, you too. So that's it, man. That's where it's at. All right, athlete of the week. Then we're coming back with Coach K. Again, new segment. I didn't do the intro for this one, but we're gonna start getting all that done by August 1st. Everything will be locked in everywhere because Tropion's changing too, and a bunch of other stuff. So, but this is the first athlete of the week. Again, it's a pro. I want you guys to understand the one thing my mother always tell about the negative, right? But she gave us some good nuggets over the years. And one that she always told us was fans don't have to be fans. So if a fan wants your autograph, a fan wants a picture, a fan wants to talk to you, take the time. Not every athlete understands that. You know who they are. Some of them are asses, and it is what it is. And it's not just athletes, politicians, movie stars, singers, rappers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that forget that the people are the reason you're there, and some people don't. And this athlete absolutely did not.
Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits. We were learning quicker. By 11, smoking herb and drinking burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. Dream like my daddy before me. So I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about that glory just always seemed to bore me. Cause only those I really love will ever really know me. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told. Before the morning sun when life was lonely. Once I was 20 years old. See my goals, I don't believe in failure, cause I know the smallest voices, they can make it major. I got my boys with me, at least those in favor. And if we don't meet before I leave, I hope I'll see you later. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told. I was writing about everything I saw before me. Once I was 20 years old. Soon we'll be 30 years old. Our songs have been sold. We've traveled around the world and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old. I'm still learning about life. My woman brought children for me, so I can sing them all my songs and I can tell them stories. Most of my boys are with me, some are still out seeking glory, and some I had to leave behind. My brother, I'm still sappy. Soon I'll be 60 years old. My daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter one.
Welcome back to the Who's Up Next show. That's Athlete of the Week. Jude is amazing, man. Kindness doesn't come with acclimate, like with accolades. Kindness isn't always rewarded or appreciated. Kindness is something that you do. Caring about another generation is something that you do that you don't have to do. I tell you guys all the time, man, look, I put the team at CCP as the CEO. I put the team at CCP through paces, man. The amount of creating, I don't think you guys understand. We do it for you. There are 20-hour days going into coding and programming and everything to create the Complete College Prospect Institute, right? To evolve into this massive monster, right? All of that is for you. The price didn't go up. The price actually, in some cases, came down because now we're subsidizing certain things, right? So it's because it's all for you, because that's a kindness, right? A lot of people forget where they came from. And that's what I liked about Jude. That's why I wanted to make sure he was my first pick for athlete of the week, because there's something special to that. Every hug means the world to one of those kids and to their parents that saw it, that saw that their kid had that moment. It's everything. Kindness is everything. That's the evolution of what we do now. For Complete College Prospects, for you to get the Who's Up Next show, Trapanium, Mark, everybody else, if you're not a well-rounded coach, student, athlete, trainer, program, we're going to call you out on it. And for the ones that are, we're going to lift you on our shoulders as high as we can, because you deserve it. We want to see a universe when it comes to students, not just athletes. When it comes to students, where everything about the system is built to get them where they want to be, and holding everyone accountable. And if a school tells us that they don't have the staff for everything else, we want to say, no problem. We got you. You guys are going to lock on with Complete College Prospects, and we're going to put you on our shoulders, and we're going to help you support your community and your students and your parents and all that. Governments too. We're not biased. We're not going to work with Democrats or Republicans. We're going to work with the entire government, federal and state, because again, if you're coming up short, Complete College Prospects is going to fill in the blank. Because at the end of the day, you, the next generation. You understand? The Y's, the Z's, you guys are the future of this thing. And you have a right to get to the same dreams that we had a right to get to. I've asked some kids lately, when's the last time that they heard in school, you can be anything that you want to be? Because as a kid, it was on commercials. We heard it everywhere. You can be anything you want to be. You want to be president, you want to be an astronaut, you can be anything you want to be. And at some point over these years, that message went away. And I know it because I talk to younger kids and I asked the question, and they're like, it was almost like I was talking a foreign language. They hadn't heard it. They hadn't even heard it in their own households. That's how crazy it is that they could be anything that they want to be. And it's at that Complete College Prospects has evolved so that we can do that. We want every student to know that they could be anything that they want to be. And we understand there's not enough money. We understand that there's not enough time. We understand there's not enough staff. And that's why we made the evolution, so that we can automate so much of it. So that when you say you're slacking over here, not slacking, because you're not, you're trying. When you just don't have enough to do the thing over here, Complete College Prospect will plug that hole. And it's that simple, because we have to. We have to give these generations a chance at being professional athletes or doctors or lawyers, moms and dads, business owners, whatever the hell it is that they want to do. We have to give them a chance. They all deserve to believe that they can be anything. And that's what kindness does. Every single one of those kids will remember what happened, and that will lift them up at times when the world is trying to beat them down. And so that's why Jude is my athlete of the week. All right, man, let's jump in with Coach K. Let's talk about a couple athletes. If you guys don't know, Coach K been a rocker with us for a minute. College coach, softball. She's getting back into this thing. She was out for, I think, just 1 year. She's about to find a home at one of these locations. Schools are super interested. For you colleges that are out there, you coaches, you know who you are, that I've reached out to. You can't go wrong in this situation. Um, Even when she's been out of it, she's still been on the side getting girls into school. That's the crazy part, right? She's been over here, um, still helping on the recruiting side, making sure that these young women have a shot. Until she didn't do the thing where it was like, well, I'm not currently out of school. I'm interviewing. Um, she wasn't like, well, I got to deal with me first. She was like, no, 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 no. Okay, great. I'm switching from one school to my new school. I'm still going to help these young women get to whatever coach, people her team played against, coaches that maybe she don't even like, but they're good coaches. She's been finding these young women homes, and so that's why we rock with her. All right, welcome Coach K to the stage. Coaches, she's been finding these young women homes, and so that's why we rock. All right, welcome Coach K to the stage. Coaches, she's been finding these young women. You got me?
Oh, yeah, there you are. I was trying to get you on my laptop.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, there you are. I was trying to get you on my.
you good?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we
Hi.
rocking. There we go. How you been?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're definitely close. We're close to a home.
We are.
Uh, I know. Tell everybody about this recruiting uh business that you started to not even a bit, just this recruiting dream that you started to get these kids to school.
So, I do a lot of things outside of softball, and my daughter's dad always says that I give my talents away for free and to stop doing that. And I said, but I mean, I'm not trying to have a recruiting business. I'm just trying to help these girls and, pass the time while I'm trying to find a job. He's like, well, charge them something. And
Right,
so it's like so cheap. Like I bet you there's nobody that can beat my prices, but it's not about that for me. It's about helping these young women that want to go and play at the next level and find those places. And I follow a bunch of like recruiting platforms on Facebook, and one of the comments or posts that was made yesterday was somebody being concerned with September 1st, because in softball for D1, that's the first time they can get phone calls or whatever.
right,
And I was like, stop worrying about this. You, as parents, stressing about this is stressing your kids out. And I know coaches that purposely don't call on September 1st because for some reason everybody took September 1st and ran with it.
right,
And every client that I interact with, I tell them, we're not concerned about that. We're not concerned about even being signed before your senior year. We're concerned about finding the best fit for you and where you can get your degree and play softball and where you're actually going to play.
right.
Because who wants to go somewhere to sit on the bench?
Fact.
And yeah, so I started with one girl who knew me. Actually, we've never met face to face, and I haven't met her mom either. When Dee made the first minority high school All American team, she flew down to Florida by herself. And there was like a parent group chat, and I got on there and I said, look, I'm not going, but my daughter's flying down there at this time. Is there anyone else that's flying into MCO at the same time that, could scoop her up and, kind of stand in and be her family for the weekend? And
Right,
this family from outside of Chicago, like, messaged right away. And so that young lady reached out to me, I think like in March, maybe. And she assumed I was still at my old university. And I said, no, I'm not, but I'm still happy to help you. And she's a really good pitcher. Like I was super surprised that she wasn't anywhere else. She also has really good grades.
right,
So I reached out to like a bunch of my people, and it just so happened that Dillard, who won their conference this year with a brand new coach that came in January, he like contacted her first, and she went down there and loved New Orleans, and so she was signed like really quickly. And so I asked her mom to make a post on Black Girls Play Softball,
Right.
and it just kind of happened from there. I have had a total of 5 clients. Well, technically, I probably have about 7 or 8, but with the loophole that you told me about being able to keep doing this when I'm a coach
Yeah.
again, I'm not charging a few of them because they're ones that I would want to come play for me.
Right. 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 No, it's definitely one of I think that a lot of coaches would love to do this. It's just that they do, everybody's afraid of the NCAA. So, but the loophole is there. There's ways to do this and not be for there not to be a conflict of interest. As far as the advice of not giving away your talents for free, trust me, we've heard it. I hear it. You know what I'm saying? My father-in-law is one of them dudes that's like on my shoulder. Where he's always like, no, 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 you got to charge. Like you do so much for these kids that is necessary to they got to pay something. And I found out that they're right. If you here's the funny thing, people don't trust free.
Right.
They just don't. People, it's the craziest thing. It's the weirdest thing. They do not trust free. They feel like free means that they're not getting a good product. And that's why you see so many of these parents agree to pay astronomical amounts of money when they don't have to.
Crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they don't have to. And it's those same companies are the ones that have September 1st as a date to drive people in a direction because it causes that panic. That panic is built into the business on purpose. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so it's the same on all sports, football, basketball. It's the same on all sports. And you are saying it correct when it comes to it. Yes, those dates are important if you get lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time to get the offer ahead of time. But outside of that, if you're going to be there your senior year, we're trying to keep you in the game, keep the door open. And I think that's where a lot of parents fail is that everybody wants their kid to be D1. But what they don't understand is what you're looking for at the end of senior year is that your kid has a continuing door that's open for them to go do what they do and have the possibility of moving up or being there and competing compared to those kids and families where there is no door and it is over with that last game in high school.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I also, why I really wanted to do this is I want to help educate parents. And, the first thing I do once they pay their sign up fee is we schedule a FaceTime or Zoom call because all the clients that I've had are, well, I have one that's like an hour from where I'm at, but everybody
Uh-huh.
else is like all around the country.
Right.
So we have a FaceTime call where we meet each other face to face, and I ask them several questions about what they're looking for their college experience so I can better help them because all these people that I know and even the people that I don't know, which I'm not afraid to reach out and call them if they like tell me they want to go to school XYZ and I don't know that
Right.
person. I'll still reach out, but all of them have different personalities. And so if I can get an idea without knowing these kids from beforehand, well, most of them, w- how they will function best, that helps me place them because, not everybody functions well with every type of coaching.
Right.
And also parents and student athletes really being honest with their skill level. If you can be honest with that, I can find somewhere for you. And I'll be honest, out of all the kids that I'm working with, only 2 of them can really play at that D1 level. The rest of them, we're looking at JUCOs and NAIAs.
Right.
But everyone that has, signed up with me is either on track to get placed here in the next few months and get committed, or they did commit, except for one. And she went rogue. She didn't listen to me. She did something that, without asking anybody, not even her club coach, like that had all of us scratching our heads.
Right.
And she's not playing at all. And so that's really what I asked of them. I said, just trust me. If you'll trust me and listen to what I say, we will find a place for you to play. So, and it's been kind of fun just watching some of the girls. And I get to do something today since I'm not currently connected to a school. I get to talk about some of them because I don't always like to do that, especially if they come in and end up playing for me. And
Right.
then one of my other players comes across the podcast and was like, oh, well, she liked her. She was jocking her. So, I'm not connected to anyone right now. And so, yeah. So, yeah, it's been fun. And it's also, it's been something with watching D's games and everything that I could also interact with, the coaches still as well.
Well, tell us a little bit about, it's 3 young ladies, right?
4.
4. Tell
Yeah.
us about them, and what makes them, because there's coaches. So what makes them a catch for any team?
So the first one I'm going to talk about is not a softball player. This is Ariana Allen. She is a rising sophomore, and she plays on a U17 Team Dream out of Kansas City. And she's one of the top basketball players, a high GPA. And she is my goddaughter, like the full disclosure, but she's just an excellent athlete. Comes from her dad played football at Nebraska, her older brother's on the track team at UMKC, so they understand, they get it, and I expect to see big things about her. I chatted with Kevin Moses, and he like went and looked at some of her videos, and he came back
Yeah.
and said, "You didn't tell me she played U17." I'm like, I mean, softball players play up all the time, and he was like,
Right.
"It's a bigger deal in basketball." And I
Yes.
was like, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she plays U17."
Let me say this, coach. The one thing that I would take out of my description of her, don't feel that you have to fully disclose anything. If she's talented, you're speaking on her talent, because what people will do is they'll be like, once you say it, then they're like, well, maybe the talent isn't there. No, she's talented. I've seen her now. She's talented. And Kevin is right. And so when you're pitching her, just tell, like, people that own companies don't hire their kids and then be like, hey, yeah, that's my kid, blah, blah. They just be like, yo, they went to school, they did whatever, they're qualified. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She is definitely qualified.
Yeah.
Like she's definitely qualified. So just give her qualifications. You don't have to. The full disclosure would be if it was, I coach at such and such, somebody I'm recruiting, full disclosure. That's a little different. But in
Okay.
this situation, her talent speaks. So just in helping her to get where she's trying to go, I would never apologize, or feel like, give someone the impression that I'm pushing her just because we're related. Nah, her talent is legit.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And she's a great person as well. A really good kid. So, yeah, so Ariana Allen. And like I said, she goes to Olathe North High School in Olathe, Kansas, and
Nice.
plays for Team Dream. So, all right. So, on to the softball players. So, I have a catcher from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Her name's Malia Johnson, and she has a 1.8 pop time. Uh, Non softball people, that's the throw from home to second, and that's a really good pop time. She's a good hitter, um, good student, and she is looking to be away from home, but not more than 3 or 4 hours away from home.
Okay.
And so she's from Rock Hill, and I think she played with Elite, but there's so many elites.
Right.
But she also is doing something that Dee did with trying to get exposure. She's guest playing with several different teams right now,
It's a good way.
because this team is going, to this place and that place, and so just so she can get seen.
Right. I mean, it's a good thing to do though. That, like, if people want their kid to have a shot, D is the prototype of it. Like, one, she's God giving, like physically gifted to do the job, but you guys, I know for a fact that you guys traveled everywhere doing everything to get this thing done. And that's what parents have to understand, is that if you could get guest spots, do it. Why would you not? Even if
Right.
it's on the coaching side. I've seen some young women in softball coach younger teams uh that were just a little bit younger, because that also gave them exposure to college coaches as well that were out and about. So I thought I didn't know that. And that was a pretty brilliant idea to me.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've seen that yet. But yeah, that is a good idea because it sees them how they can lead as well. It
Yeah.
shows coaches that, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm trying to remember the young lady, uh, and she sent me a message and she was like, I'm basically guest coaching on this team this weekend, and it was like a freshman team, and there
Mhm.
were coaches. There were coaches that were out scouting in the state, and they just came to the tournament, and that was her doorway in, and it worked. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, but it makes sense. It does. It teaches one. It gives coaches a completely different look at you. So even whether it's guest playing or whether it's guest coaching, I would do all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so the last, I guess I was looking back, there's three pictures because I
Okay.
can't leave out any of my girls from the Kansas City Rebels. I'm always trying to help my Rebels girls. So, so one of the pictures is from Memphis, Tennessee. Her name is Kennedy Bond, and she is small but mighty. She spins the ball really well. She's gonna do a smaller program, like be a really big asset to them. And I just spoke to Dad the other day with her speed about adding slap hitting to her toolbox, because if she has more things that she can do, it makes her more attractive.
Yep.
But she uh not high velocity on her pitching, but like I said, she spins it really well, so that's what throws batters off. And she's a great student. She also received an award on, I think it was like on the academic side, community service, and it was recent. And so she's
Nice.
one that is definitely out in her community and giving back as well. So Kennedy Bond, and she's a 27.
Okay.
So
Nice.
so then Campbell Dawson, also a 27 from Topeka, Kansas. She goes to Topeka High. Another one that is super involved in other extracurriculars. She's one of the leads on her yearbook staff. She also plays volleyball. I believe she has been on varsity possibly all 4 years. Well, I guess we don't know yet because she's going into her senior year, but the last 3 years for both volleyball and softball. She has pitches in the low 60s. She has drop ball, screwball, curveball, changeup.
Nice.
Don't think she has a rise ball, but that's okay. I mean, I'm a pitching coach that firmly believes you don't need every pitch. You need to master three or four really well. And then I will have someone else on my staff that can throw what you don't throw.
Right.
And so, but she I believe she has like a 4.3 GPA.
Wow.
So she definitely, and she wants to be a civil rights attorney, so definitely interested in the HBCU route.
Okay.
And so Campbell Dawson, and like I said, she's a 27. And then the
Nice.
last one from Kansas is Taylor Woods. Now, this is my young one. She's class of 2030.
Okay.
And but she's been playing on an 18 and under team, gosh, since Dee's junior year. So that would have made her like in seventh grade, maybe sixth or
Right.
seventh grade.
No, but that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
And she not only pitches, but she also plays second base, maybe some outfield as well, power hitter. Um, I'm not sure about her grades because she's so young, but I imagine knowing her family that she's a good student. And she plays, I'm sure she's probably going to be going to one of the Olathe high schools, but she
Okay.
plays for one of the Kansas City Rebels 18 teams.
Okay.
So these young ladies are all looking for, especially my 27s, they're looking for, their place for the next 4 years. One thing though that I've been telling them is a lot of coaches, especially, well, the D1 coaches, because the rule only applies to the D1 schools right now, but
Right.
a lot of them have put their 27 recruiting on pause because they're waiting to see who's going to return and who's
Yep.
not. And
Yep.
so that even more solidifies my statement about being patient and not being like so rushed to be signed. And one of those girls, I don't want to say who because I don't want her to feel like called out. But she was told by her high school coaches that she needed to be signed before she started her senior year so she didn't get left with leftovers. And I said, I usually don't tell people not to listen to their coaches, but please don't listen to that. I
I tell
said,
them all the time.
yeah. I said, because you said you wanted to go to a HBCU. HBCU recruiting is later. And
Right.
so please, we can find you a spot, but don't be crazy obsessed with being signed before school starts this year. So, um, but yeah, and then also this is big, and maybe you can tell me what it means for other sports. I just
Okay.
know what it means for softball. But the MEAC announced very recently that they have opted in. And so
Okay.
now all those softball staffs have to have 25-person rosters, and they're supposed to provide 25 full rides. And there's a couple schools in the MEAC that they can definitely swing it, but
Right.
most of the schools are scrambling for more scholarship dollars because their conference made this decision for them.
I mean, realistically, it doesn't really change anything for other sports, because it doesn't make for more scholarships,
Mm,
because it's a pretty set roster limit as far as scholarships. Well, let's say D1. Let's say it doesn't change anything at the upper level. So for everybody that's watching, when we're talking now, the D1 level of everything is pretty set about how they do things. These little movements don't change a lot. Everything below that is a little bit different because NAIA you can have a damn near an unlimited roster. JUCO is limited, but for the NCAA is where I want to focus with this. Um, at the D2, D3 level, I mean, it's not going to change a lot. It's just softball. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it,
I get that, but what I mean is like be because the MEAC opted in to the
right,
25 full rides,
right,
all and they're a mid-major conference. They're not
right.
a P4 or P5 where they can afford that.
Right,
I
but
just didn't
that won't
know.
matter. They'll what they'll tell them is that they gotta. So when that happens, they'll find a way for the money to come in. That no one does it without having a way for the money to flow in to
Okay.
help with it. You know what I'm saying? So your concern is whether they'll be able to afford it, correct?
Yes.
Right. So what happens is in a move like this, there will definitely be schools that are left behind. But for the most part, they only opted in because the revenue stream is there to make it happen. It's just whether the school decides to. Every school can afford it. When you were at Allen, there it's not that the school couldn't afford a thing. It was a choice. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I watched you bang your head trying to get these girls everything they could, and you're not there. So I'm gonna say what I want to say now. And the university chose not to help. It's like when I tell kids if they want to give you a scholarship, they can. Saying that you charge this much for room and board is like saying you charge that for a room in your home, and then when your family member comes, you're like, oh, you ain't got to pay nothing because there's no loss. It's whatever the school wants to do, so they can afford it. It's just now they'll have to allocate it in most cases. Some schools will still choose not to.
So, but like for football and basketball, like does that rule apply to them? Like, do they get so many full rides now too? And
Yes, but that's now based on purely on the NCAA rule of the amount of scholarships based on roster spots. So it used to be less, right? It was like 70 something, 80, and then you could have a roster of like 120. So then, but your full rides were down here. When they went to I think the cap is 105 now. You can
okay.
have 105 full ride scholarships. You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
But remember, they went away from actual scholarships to financial agreements. And
Right.
now they mix in all kinds of stuff to create that. And that's what some families are confused by, because they'll come in, get their financial contract, and they're like, wait, I thought I was going to get a full ride scholarship. And they're like, no, we built a full ride scholarship out of, we gave you like 25% from athletics. And then we gave you this much from this and this. And then we got you this. And then that created the full ride scholarship. See what I'm
And
saying?
that's kind of what I told Dee what was going to happen, with that, with them making that. And I found out just recently that the MEAC opted in because
Right.
of my coaching friends. They're like, well, did you know this? And there's been a lot of coaching movement in the MEAC and the SWAC. And so we were talking about that, and then that was brought up. And I was like, I mean, that's great. I mean, I love that for those young ladies, but I mean, the SWAC is the bigger, D1 conference of the two, obviously.
Right.
And as far as I know, Prairie View is the only one that's opted in out of all those schools.
They
So,
have to have an idea that financially they know where they're going to come up with the money.
okay. Well,
Even
that's
if
good
it
to know.
means, even if it means that full ride is technically happening from other sources. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because remember, at every university, at every school, let's say 80% of all financial assistance is built on education first. That's where they have the most of their money. Unless you're a big football school, because then all of your boosters are putting it in. They want the money to go to the sport. But most universities, most schools, colleges, universities, whatever, the bulk of their money, the bulk of their revenue from donors is built into wanting it to go to academic scholarships. And that's why I always tell athletes, if you have anything above a 3.0, but anything above a 3.6 is even better, because then the school has more options because there's more money. It's not that, like, even at Allen, it's not that they didn't have the money, it's that the people that donate the money have made them promise it'll go to a certain thing. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So the school has money. They just do. It's just that they might only have a certain amount allocated to sports, and then they might only have a certain amount allocated to that particular sport.
Okay.
And that's where you get in. Excuse me. That's where you get into trouble, because even at some major D1s, softball hurts, volleyball hurts. You know what I'm saying? And these
Hmm.
schools have billion-dollar coffers, and yet they'll say, "Well, we don't have any money for that." Like I said, the University of Washington or Eastern Washington, one of them got rid of their entire track program when they had to start paying out with the um my mind's going blank, with the revenue sharing. They just got rid of track. They can afford track, but it was, we're going to move this money over here to pay this other thing. We still have all this other money, but we can't allocate it to sports.
Oh, okay.
It's
But
it's tricky up there.
right. Well, so anyways, girls that are interested in playing at any of those MEAC schools, that is some news for you that they have opted in. And it's a big deal because they're smaller schools,
Right.
as compared to, like South Carolina or Duke, Clemson, whatever. So I know Dee's really excited, but I don't know why. I mean, she already like is in a good
She
situation.
is. She's in a very good situation.
So
But I mean, we should definitely talk offline about it, where we can, and that way I can get you some more information, because this is going to help you on your side too. You're going to be somewhere for this year. So it's like, you might as well prep yourself for it now. That way,
Right.
especially if you're planning to be a head coach again, this way you know how to approach the school about the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that you could get the help that you were looking for. And I don't know. I think Alan just didn't want to help. But if that wasn't the case, there might have been a way to do it. It was just the way that you were going to have to approach the administration in order to get it. And it would require your girls to have their stuff together. That's all.
Well,
Yep.
they actually, because I, obviously still know people there, they
Yeah.
actually have released the cap that all coaches had, and that they can basically offer any kid anything they want as long as they stay within their budget, which is
I,
all we were saying in the first place. Like, these aren't real budgets, because you don't tell somebody, here's $5,000 to go to Florida, but you have to use 1,000 on this, 2,000 on this. If it's a true budget, here's your money, do it how you want to. And so they have done that. So I know that for a fact. So there are now can be full rides at Allen.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're the person that makes change happen, but you're not the person that benefits from the change.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But all right, coach, tell everybody where they could get a hold of you if they're playing. Let's not say softball. If you get a hold of her with any sport, she truly is somebody that will help you out, like just in general. So where can they get a hold of you?
So my email is coach KAE37 at gmail.com. And then you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and yeah. And then sending me a private message will get you my cell phone number. So yeah.
There you go. Not just young ladies. If you're an athlete and you're just trying to find somebody that can help you, and maybe you don't want to go with the big companies and you just want to find somebody that truly will have your best interest at heart, hit Coach K.
And
I've
it's
literally
true.
seen her. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have helped a few young men as well. So
Yeah.
I do know coaches from like all sports from all over. That's true. So in fact, my daughter's godfather, Dee's godfather, is a JUCO head men's basketball coach. And we talk all the time about, different players and stuff. So, and then he
Nice.
also knows people. So that's a good connect I have as well.
There you go, people. Hey, this is Coach K. I'm telling you can't go wrong. It's just that simple. I've watched her tell young women, help them go to another school if her school wasn't a fit when she was a coach. And that you can't ask for more than that. I'm sorry. Like, you can't ask for a coach that is willing to do more than that they care more about you than even if it was for their own program. And that's who she is. I really appreciate anytime, coach. Just hit me up. You know how to get a hold of me. Hit me up and we'll get you back on again.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Next time, tell the young ladies to jump in the back room with you and we'll get them up too.
Okay, I will.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Hey, welcome back. That's Coach K. This is the Who's Up Next show. Again, Coach K is solid. I've watched her grind. I have been willing to reach out on her behalf because I've watched how she does her business. I fully support what she's trying to do. That's why I'm very convinced that she's going to have a home this year. I can't see like I say, she was coaching last year. She's going to have a home this year. She's just that type of human being. Schools, coaches, you cannot go wrong. All you coaches that are looking at Coach K right now, if I've sent something to you or spoken to you, you already know how I feel. But for the ones that I have not, because maybe we haven't met, so I didn't know to reach out to you, you're just going to be that much better. I have watched her go to bat for some of these young women when it was her against the world, and she did that. Came out her own pocket when that shouldn't be the case in college. And she came out her own pocket to help young women have supplies and the things that they needed to play the sport. And that should never happen. And she still did that. I'm just telling you. There you go. All right, let me bang out we're going to come back after the firm. We got Coast to Coast, Mark Gibson.
You've been putting in the work, late nights, early miles. Got the fire in your chest, got the hunger in your style. Every drill, every class, you show up in your grind. Now it's time to get seen, put the world on your line. You need the right move, need the right door. Be the name that opens what you're fighting for. No more guessing, no more waiting. The path is clear, and it starts with the firm. CCP on your side. No other option. We get you noticed. Why? Best in the business. That's the word. That's the truth. Exposure scholarships. We make it happen for you. No other option. No other option. From the field to the field to the field to the classroom. From the dream to the offer. We know how to build what takes you farther. Athletes, students, got a future to claim. When you want the spotlight, call the firm by name. You need the right move, need the right door. Need a team that knows how to do more. No more guessing, no more waiting. The path is clear, and it starts with the firm. Talent, we bring the reach. You bring the vision.
Welcome back. It's your boy, the big fella, the Who's Up Next show. That's the firm. Again, if you in your state, there's 9 times out of 10, you are in the same state as somebody or a brand that is with the firm or connected to the firm or state adjacent. We're everywhere putting this thing together for you guys when it comes to Complete College Prospect Institute. So, you know, make sure the firm sees you. That way we can help you be who you need to be and what you want to be. Look, Mark Gibson hit me with 2 people last week. Both athletes are amazing. I expected to put them on last week. Obviously, just because we miss a show, we're good. That doesn't mean we're going to scrap that show. We just wrap that up, bring it back around, make sure that we get those athletes out there. We never want to miss anybody that's ever sent to us. So we want to make sure that we get it in. This is Coast to Coast with Mark Gibson. Oh, on that one video with Jude, we don't own the music. We don't own the rights to the music. And I know that we aren't supposed to play any music that we didn't have made. But what the hell? So that one time it got through, and it's just how it is. So I had to say that as a disclaimer. But Coast to Coast with Mark Gibson. Let's go. The best segments in the game, Coast to Coast, brought to you by Mark Gibson here on the Who's Up Next show, bringing some of the best athletes from around the country and around the world for you to enjoy.
Through the cities, dreams in the backseat. Small town kid, now they all wanna track me. From the west to the east, I feel the heartbeat. Every athlete grinding, that's where the facts be. Late nights, early mornings, chasing what they believe. Told them keep their head high when they got nothing to see. Now they turn that pressure into history. Every mile, every scar, that's a victory. Mark on the road, yeah, he never slows down. Hidden gems shining when the cameras roll round. From the first step, look what we found now. One shot, one chance, let the whole world know now. Coast to coast, coast to coast, tell their story, let it go. Coast to coast, coast to coast, watch the next one rise up slow. Every dream gets a name, every mile builds fame. Coast to coast, coast to coast, we was born the fire in their eyes, crossing state lines, watching futures arise. Mark got the spotlight, but it's them now we hype. From the track to the court, from the field to the room, got a whole lot of hope in the shape of a boom. They've been working in the dark, now they come into bloom, and the whole map clean when the new stars move. Mark on the road, yeah, he never slows down, hidden gems shining when the cameras roll round. From the first step, look what we found now. One shot, one chance, let the whole world know now. Coast to coast, coast to coast, tell their story, let it go. Coast to coast, coast to coast, watch the next one rise up slow. Every dream gets a name, every mile builds fame. Coast to coast, coast to coast, we was born for this game. When the road get long and the faith feel thin, you remind them who they are, let the light back in. From the west to the east, let the new.
Welcome back. That's Coast to Coast with Mark Gibson. Look, those are two talented young women. One, on the basketball side, I love the fact that she's not the point, but she's showing the game from the angle of the job she does. Just as exciting and very impressive when you're watching everything that she's doing down on the blocks, and her ability to guard half court and everything else, even not playing at the top positions. She was amazing. And then on the softball side, like you know what? The one thing that I wish I had always had the opportunity to do, because I played baseball young, right, for about 3 years. I'll have to bring the baseball card in here. And a grand slam is amazing. It has to be. A grand slam in baseball and softball has to be one of those things where you're just like, in that moment, you're that person. You're it. You know, you're bringing, like, you put that bat down, you've laid the hammer down, and you're watching that thing sail, and you're just like, I'm gonna walk this thing out. You know what I'm saying? It's just it has to be amazing. It has to just be an amazing feeling, because it takes a lot of power to hit it out the park. I don't know if you've tried, but I know some adults that wouldn't be able to catch it and put it outside the park right now. And so it's a talent, and I love it. And hey, Mark, good catch on both of these young ladies. Loved everything that I saw about what they do. All right, cool. Let's go. Which one I want to do, man? Let's go here.
I found my person. There's 8 billion people in the world. I found my person. Like, I found the person that in this terrifying, dangerous world where we have very little control over a lot of things, I'm going to hold their hand and they're going to hold mine, and we'll never be alone. We're just going to look out for each other. And you know what? Pain is coming. Suffering is coming. But we'll hold each other's hand and we'll figure it out. And the joy will be that much sweeter because we have each other to share it with. And the pain will be a little softer because we'll have each other to, like, hold on to.
I know that thing is about relationships, but I think you need to, we act like everything is separate, right? Married over here, divorced over there, dating over there, football over here, basketball over there, softball over there. The reason I put that up is because that's the type of coach you should be looking for. You should be looking for that partner that understands you. And yeah, you guys are going to win some, you're going to lose some. There's going to be injuries, and there's going to be heartbreak, and there's going to be betrayal, not amongst you guys, but maybe amongst the team and whatever else. But you know that you're going to get through this and grow because of that person. And that coach understands that you as an athlete are going to show them something that maybe they haven't seen before. Maybe a new way to coach, maybe a new way to see the game, a new way of understanding. Those are the type, a lot of you guys go out there and you look for schools that are close to you or have a certain color or certain mascot, or your friends go there. But realistically, you need to find a coach that you can resonate with. I'm super happy. My son just found that coach, right? And the thing is, like, because he'll move on, that they won't be together forever, but that coach will have his back forever. But they've found their counterpart in each other. You know what I'm saying? I've had a chance to hear some of their conversations as he's preparing a report, and there's a pretty amazing chemistry there. You know, I could tell the coach respects him like he's a coach on the field, and the same vice versa. I could tell that my son is found his guy that he can trust whatever is sent in, that he could take that to the bank. Um, it's a very special thing. It's hard to find. Um, it may not have ended well with Bill and Tom, but for those 15 years or so that they were together, you wouldn't have known, because that was the kind of relationship that it was. They had that kind of relationship. Um, Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan, same thing. You know, it's one of those things where you have this relationship, that's this bond that is bigger than the sport, and you both grow from it. You both evolve from it. Some of you need to start looking at these coaches from that perspective, and understand that your coach pours into you. You pour into your coach as well, but your coach pours into you. If what's being poured into you isn't correct for you, then it will set you back. So it's important to make sure that those that are pouring into you, you guys have this bond, this thing that, yeah, it's okay. It's not gonna always be perfect, but it will work out as it needs to. Let's go. Before I get to Watchtower, there's a few videos I just want to get in. I put them all on here because they all have a purpose. Let's go to work ethic.
Such a strong work ethic that you become unpopular among your peers. When you have a strong work ethic, you will offend people because they'll see the effort that they should be putting in. And when they realize they're not putting in that effort, it's much easier to cut you out of their life than for them to change and to develop that strong work ethic. You need to develop such a strong work ethic that people don't even recognize you anymore. You need to develop such a strong work ethic that your old friends that just talk bad about people and talk about what they're going to do no longer recognize you, no longer want to be around you, no longer can relate to you. Because you can't expect to stand out while you fit in. It doesn't work that way.
Understand, the most important thing in there was that you can't expect to stand out if you fit in. There's never been a truer statement. The young man that I was talking about, that I spoke to before the show, it's funny because I had said something similar to him, because I told him he was asking questions about his future, and the answers he were getting were answers that everybody would give. And my advice to him was, you need to be in the room with the people that are smarter than you, that work harder than you, that see the world differently than you. And then you have to walk in those rooms as if you belong there. So that when you're getting the advice, you're getting it from a peer and not from someone that you look up to and believe that you'll never be. But the one place that you absolutely cannot go get the information about what it is that you want to do is from the average person. Because the average person can only give you average advice. If you're on a team and you go to your teammates and you're like, yo, I want to go get an extra workout in, what do y'all think? The majority of your teammates are going to be like, yeah, nah, I got things to do, because they are the average. You've got to see the people that you've seen working hard, doing more, going beyond. And those are the people that you need to ask that question to. Those are the people that you need to get that advice from, because those people are already different. A lot of you go through life asking people that you know will give you the answer that you expect. Those are the people you choose to ask, because you know if you ask someone else, they are going to give you what you need, not what you want, not what you like. And so you know exactly who you ask those questions of. Your work ethic is the beginning. Your work ethic is the beginning of creating something special. If you don't have a strong work work ethic about the thing that you desire, the thing you are attempting to create, then it is an impossibility for you to go any further than being average. You may succeed, but you won't excel. You will just get to the place you were trying to be at. More times than not, you won't even reach that. That leads me into this. Busta Rhymes says something about obsession, right? And it goes with the work ethic. If you want to be an athlete, you've got to obsess about it. You've got to be, it has to be everything. If you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a scientist, it has to consume all of your time and everything about your existence. I told you, that's why, look, you're wait till we unveil the new version of us at the end of this month. It's an impossibility to see anything better because we're obsessed with making sure that we give you every tool possible. So it's like that's what you've got to do. When everybody else can't see it, you have to. You have to see this thing. You have to be dedicated to this thing. You have to see this thing where everybody says you're crazy, but you know you're not.
You gotta be selfish, no matter what it is that you choose to do. Like, it don't matter how fucked up that shit might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work. You function completely in a way where it's an unwavering faith, complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion. Because it's only delusional until it works. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now, your delusion becomes, oh, he was a fucking genius. So it's not about the money for you. You're fulfilling something. We all got the gift. There's something that we've all been blessed with. You learn what the fuck it is and become one with it and walk in your purpose, bro.
I can't stress it enough. My entire life, I thought this athlete thing, that was my existence. And I thought that was my purpose, right? I thought that was the thing, like that was it. And then when the time came and it was done, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Who am I? But that's because I didn't find my purpose. When I started this show, I started to understand my purpose. And that's when I dove all the way in, right? All the way in. Then when I became the CEO of Complete College Prospects, I was like, I'm all the way in, because what I understood for me is my purpose is you guys. My purpose is the message. My purpose was to build and force others to build and for this thing. And when we were told we were crazy, or when I was told I was crazy by the other partners, when I was told I was crazy by other people, and why would you do all these things for these kids? And why would you do this? We could just do this because that's what everybody else does. And why do you want to build this other thing? And why do you want to do this and do that and do this and do that? I was obsessed with never letting one of you guys fall through the cracks. And that's why it evolved from athletes to students, to parents, to teachers, to governors and mayors and senators and everyone else. Then it developed into the whole world because it crossed countries, crossed oceans, because I was obsessed when everyone was saying I was crazy. And there was fights. I don't think you understand. 5 years ago, there was fights in boardroom meetings. People telling me I'm offended them because they don't understand what I'm thinking about and where I want to see this thing and what you guys need as kids. Or my bad, the one where I had to say, no, we're only charging this. And I'm looking at other people and they're like, yo, why are we not, NCSA charges this, blah, blah, blah charges that. Why are we not charging those prices? And I'm like, because everyone needs to be able to afford it. Everybody thought I was crazy. I was all alone fighting for you guys. And now today, everyone is, all those same companies that they were talking about, we should copy them, we see them following us. trying to implement the things we implement. Now those same people that thought I was crazy for what I wanted to do for you guys are like, oh, I see it now. Buster's right. It's only crazy till you do it. It's only crazy till you do it, till you create it, till people need it, till they see it. Then those same people are like, you're not crazy. People thought Alexander Graham Bell was crazy when he wanted to build a telephone. There's no way we could do that. Tesla, they didn't even acknowledge, and that's why Franklin was able to do what he did and steal and all this other stuff, right? I was watching a TikTok the other day, and they were showing people going to go see Back to the Future, the original in the 80s. They were interviewing them when they came out. And someone said to them, you know that they're saying in the future, we'll be able to have our phone, carry it with us, put it in our pocket and have video calls. And one of the people said, oh, that's too much. Like, who would want to do that? That's crazy. We'll never be there. It was only 20, 30 years ago that people thought cell phones, the way we use them today, was absolute craziness. Today, it's crazy to believe that someone thought it was crazy. Don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to do different. When your friends turn left to go to the party, it's okay to turn right and go home. When your team is finished with practice, it's all right to stay. When your friends don't want to study for that test, it's all right for you to say, nah, I got to go do that. When your friends want to drink or smoke and whatever, it's okay to say, nah, I got something else I'm trying to do. Being the same isn't always it. That's why I wanted to throw those on there. But change is hard. Change is very, very hard. And that's where this comes in.
The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, I've always been this way. Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first.
That message for me was the deepest. And I know it's for somebody that's watching the show too. My whole life has been about putting everybody else on my back, putting everybody else first. I didn't choose to be an athlete because I was like, oh my God, that's the thing I want to be. I was a nerd. I love reading books. I love science. I love English. History is one of my favorite things, even though most of it is nonsense. But an athlete was the fastest way to put people on my back and get the family to where they needed to be. And I'd done it for so long that change didn't even seem possible. I didn't know how to be anything else. I didn't love anything. And I mean that. I didn't love anything because I was taught that just wasn't it. But see, I had to look at that, realize that, pivot, and go a different direction. Because what I figured out is I love you guys. And it was Thomas Edison. But I love you guys. My love for that next generation, my love for seeing the kids smile, seeing parents be proud, that was the pivot. That's what was my bottom. That's what made me change. If I didn't do training and I didn't do this, I wouldn't even watch sports. Because that wasn't my purpose. It was a thing that was holding me in place, and change had to happen. I wasn't happy. And then I did this. I sat down, spoke with some dudes, we agreed, blah, blah, blah. And this thing was invented, and I've been happy ever since. I've heard people say, man, you're killing yourself working. And I'm like, I don't ever feel like I'm working. Have an interview like that with Coach K, helping some young women, helping Coach K. I don't feel like I'm working. We clipping videos and putting them together so we can get y'all stuff out there. I never feel like I'm working. Coding 20 hours in a day because we're trying to build something to help you and your families. I still never feel like I'm working, but I had to change. I couldn't stay what I was. I had to change, and you do too. If you want to be a professional athlete, change. If you're not getting the result that you want right now, change, because something's wrong. Pivot. You've got to do something different. I'm not saying a different sport or not sports. I'm saying you might not be working hard enough. You might not be studying your sport hard enough. You might not be putting in as much effort as you can. You might not be training until you're exhausted. You might be just training till you feel tired. And that's the difference between you and the next person. They're training till they can't train anymore. You're training until it looks good to tell people, I trained for 2 or 3 hours today. It's that simple. And that works for whatever it is, parents, whatever it is. You want to find a better job? It's possible. But how much effort are you really putting in it? Are you willing to risk the check in 2 weeks to go find the check you actually want to do for the rest of your life? It's a commitment. It's a thing. It's a way you got to be. It's a way you have to evolve. Hold on. I remember when that movie came out, they had an exhibit at Epcot Center of the futuristic cars, and my whole family and I talking about how that would never happen. I know, right? That's crazy. It's only crazy today. In the future, crazy becomes real, and now it's not crazy. Van Gogh is one of my favorite painters of all time. I believe that the way that he saw an image is unparalleled. No one can touch him. To me, that's my belief. You love who you love. But to me, Van Gogh is that person, right? Van Gogh died poor, and people saying that he was crazy. No one saw the beauty until he wasn't here anymore. Today, if you're not super, super, super wealthy, you can't even afford to hold a Van Gogh in your hands. He's not part of exhibits. When Van Gogh's paintings are in town, they are the exhibit. But he was crazy. That's how people thought of him then. Be crazy today. Don't be scared. Be crazy today. Dare to dream. Dare to be crazy today. Don't worry. When it all catches up, you'll be here to hear everybody tell you how you weren't crazy, how proud they are, how amazed they are that they never saw this thing coming. Some of them are going to be like, oh, no, I always believed in you, but we all know that's nonsense. So, but there you go. All right, man. Let's get to some kids that did their thing that Kevin went out and found they're doing the crazy. You know what I'm saying? They're just like the ones from Mark. They're in their crazy right now. They're giving up all their time. They're tearing up their bodies because they're in their crazy, so that tomorrow, in the future, they could be the example. Watchtower, Kevin Moses. Welcome to the new segment on the Who's Up Next show with the new studio. Welcome to Watchtower, showcasing some of the best athletes in the country, rep by my man Kevin Moses. Everything that he does, you know, these are going to be some future stars. Let's go.
Kevin Moses got your back. Hey. Kevin in the cut, you grinding low. Late nights, one more show. Hands all raw from the work, but they don't know what you work. You been planting seeds in the dirt, kept 'em moving when it hurt. I see the fire in your eyes, even when you play it quiet. Kevin Moses on the road, got that radar, got that code. If you shine, he gon' know, even when you moving low. He see it now. Watchtower. He bring your name to the crowd. When they miss you in the dark, he gon' point them to your spark. Watchtower. Kevin Moses got your back. Out is urgent every block, every stage and every spot. Nick big star in a small room. He can find you in the gloom. He be right there in the air, telling all the world your worth. Put your name up on the perch. Kevin Moses on the rise, looking past the fake disguise. If you built it with your hands, he gon' make the whole world stand. Watchtower. He see it now. Watchtower. He bring your name to the crowd. When they miss you in the dark, he gon' point them to your spark. Watchtower. Kevin Moses got your back. You don't gotta shout it loud, he gon' pull you from the crowd. Every scar, every mile, he gon' make it count in style. When the room don't give you space, he gon' make a bigger play. Watchtower. He see it now.
Welcome back. That's Watchtower, Kevin Moses, always out there doing his thing. He's traveling right now. Definitely coming to a gym near you. Make sure you link up with my guy. You see him or Kevin, Jason, any of those guys, Mike Mutz. Hey, link in with them. They're going to get you over here. It's where it's at. If you've been on this show in any capacity, highlights, anything, you have an open invitation to an interview. We're now at that place where people just hit us and we get them in. That's just how it works. Whether it's coaches, parents, whoever, you know, so you hit us up. You know, if you haven't been on the show, but you're doing something, whether it's in sports or you're a trainer, you're a coach, you're an educator, just hit us up. You know what I'm saying? You can reach us. I never run these things, but let's go with, you can reach us at the Who's Up Next show. That's the address here in Las Vegas. You can do your thing like that. That'll get you in. Let's see what else. I think we took them all down because of that. But there you go. That's how you could get in with us. Go to X, Who's Up Next 23. That'll get you in as well. And let's see if we should get you on the show. This is that thing. This is your way in. It doesn't get any simpler than that. This is your way in, you know. And again, I'm gonna make sure the show matches up with Complete College Prospects Institute. So we have a segment for innovators, which is going to showcase young men and women around the world that are creating businesses, inventing things, changing their community, and making a difference, because it's bigger than this. It's bigger than just being an athlete, right? It's about more than that. We want to see people that are making change, and we want to see it from 19 down, because everybody above that is already being seen, whether it's regular news or whoever else. They're already showcasing you guys. So we want to make sure we're showcasing you guys in everything that you do under that. because you guys are the ones that end up forgotten, and we can't have that. Let's go. Let's rock out with Denzel before we get up out of here.
When a man starts walking alone, it doesn't mean he's broken. It means he's finally dangerous. He's been betrayed, lied to, used. He's seen loyalty turn fake and promises shatter like glass. But that pain didn't destroy him. It woke him up. Now his trust has changed. It doesn't belong to crowds anymore. It belongs to purpose, to peace, to authenticity. He's done chasing attention. He's building in silence. And you might look at him and see loneliness. You might mistake his silence for sadness, but you'd be wrong. What you call isolation, he calls focus. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's building an empire, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. His greatest fear isn't being alone. It's wasting his life on fake love, false friends, and empty loyalty. So don't mistake his guard for a cold heart.
That message is not just from, that's not about just men. That's men and women, young men and women. When you coaches, when you see these young men and women and they're quiet, they're dedicated, they've been through some stuff. That message is also for those friends and family members that when you see your friend or your family member get serious and they get quiet and they're dedicated to a thing, don't try to be the thing that takes them from being that. Don't say, well, you act like you're better than us, or I don't understand, you don't do this with us anymore, or we don't blah, blah, blah. They're dedicated to something. They've seen all that they need to see, and they know now they've got to dig deep on their own. There's a building that they've got to traverse on their own. There's a thing they've got to climb on their own, and they don't trust anybody else to help get them there. That's not the moment to attack them. They're not depressed. They are dedicated to something, and they found that no one else is dedicated to their success. I definitely used to be one of those people that didn't go anywhere without 5 or 6 people. Today, you never see me with anybody. I stay to myself. I stay dedicated on the build, on the grind, because what I'm building something bigger than me, bigger than this. And I don't have time for those people that don't understand. I've got a purpose. There's a kid out there right now in some town, in some city, in some neighborhood who is, they know where they want to be, but they can't see it because the trees are blocking it. Not because they can't cut the trees down, but because every time they cut one down, somebody else puts another up to stop them from getting where they're trying to go. A kid, a student that might not have the money to go to Harvard or Yale, but they have the brain capacity. They're smart enough to get the scholarships if they just knew where they were. A small athlete that has the heart of a lion that can do anything and overcome anything if they just had a chance, but their local newspaper or their local news doesn't come and give the exposure that's necessary. They've got the stats, but they can't buy the exposure. My dedication to that purpose is just bigger than that. And I can't let anything get in the way of that. So I walk alone on that path. I mean, we have a team, but when I'm doing my thing, I walk alone. Because we don't want to miss you. We want to find you. That's why all of our people dig in those crevices to make sure that we never miss you if we get a chance to see you. If we hear about you. If we can help you, we're going to pull you up. So when you see somebody you love or that you know and they're quiet and they're doing their thing, they're just doing their thing. They're dedicated. You know what you do? Just be quiet and walk alongside them just in case they need to talk. But don't take away from what they're doing. Coaches, just because a player is quiet doesn't mean they're not a team player. They're just dedicated to something. Maybe you need to turn from the one person turn around and look at the rest of the team and understand that that's the only person on the team that's actually dedicated to the thing you want to do, and that's win. Turn away from the one and look at the rest. You might find that you need to readdress the rest and tell them that they might want to be more like the one. That's just the facts. Told you, I'm the big fella. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. This is the Who's Up Next show. This is the People show. So we never sugarcoat a damn thing. We give it to you raw so that you can understand it, so that you're forced to look it in the face and address it. Whether you're a parent, a coach, a player, a student, I don't give a damn. Whatever you are, whoever you are, we want you to get the message. When I step on this pulpit, I'm here to tell you what it is you need to hear. It might not affect you today. It might not affect you till tomorrow. It might not be the message that you need until a year from now. And then you remember, damn, I remember when I was watching the Who's Up Next show and he said this. I never knew what he meant until today. That's why I do what I do. I love you guys. I appreciate you being a part of the Guerrilla Army. Join me next Sunday. We're going to keep this thing pushing and wait for the unveil at the end of the month for the new Complete College Prospects Institute. Again, I love everything that I do, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to even do it. It might be my purpose, but you gave it to me. And I will forever be grateful for that. I'm the big fella, and I'm out.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the show. Laughs and games before you go. From the first to the fly. No flex. You know who's up. You know who's next. Soldier.